One catastrophic 15-minute stretch just obliterated what could have been Indiana Fever's statement victory against the league's top team. Friday night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse witnessed the cruel reality of professional basketball. Momentum can flip faster than a coin toss, and sometimes all your early brilliance means absolutely nothing. The Fever watched their dreams crumble in real time as the Minnesota Lynx stormed back to claim a 95-90 victory that stings more than any blowout loss ever could. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this loss actually more damaging to team morale than losing by 20 points would have been? The defeat pushes Indiana's record to 19-17, though they caught a break when Golden State also stumbled against Phoenix, keeping the Fever planted in that crucial sixth playoff spot. Still, you have to wonder, how many more of these heartbreakers can a young team's confidence survive? The third quarter meltdown that nobody saw coming. Picture this. Your team starts the game absolutely scorching from beyond the arc, draining 9 of their first 12 three-point attempts. You're suffocating the opposition's perimeter game, building an 11-point cushion, and everything feels perfect. Then, halftime arrives, and suddenly you're living in a completely different universe. That's exactly what happened to Indiana on Friday night, and honestly, it was painful to watch unfold. The Lynx emerged from their locker room like a team possessed, immediately rattling off a 9-2 scoring burst that had Fever head coach Stephanie White frantically signaling for timeout. But here's the thing that'll keep White up at night. Even that early intervention couldn't stop the bleeding. Minnesota absolutely dismantled Indiana's defense during those brutal 10 minutes, and the numbers tell a story that's hard to stomach. The Lynx found the paint easier than a GPS finds your house, converting all 7 of their interior attempts while piling up 14 points in the restricted area alone. When the dust settled, Minnesota had dropped 32 points in a single quarter while holding Indiana to a measly 17. And this is the part most people miss. It wasn't just the offensive explosion that killed the Fever. Their defensive rotations completely fell apart, leaving Minnesota players so wide open for layups that it looked like a shooting drill rather than playoff-level basketball. The Fever showed tremendous heart with a late-game surge, particularly when Aaliyah Boston caught fire with 6 consecutive points in the final quarter, cutting the deficit to just 5 points. But by then, the mathematical mountain had become too steep to climb. Shey Peddy's dream debut provides silver lining. Sometimes in sports, individual brilliance can shine through even the darkest team moments, and newcomer Shey Peddy delivered exactly that kind of performance. Consider the pressure. You sign with a new team on Tuesday, get exactly 2 practice sessions to learn the system, then get thrown into action against the league's best team. Most players would be nervous wrecks. Peddy, she turned it into her personal 3-point showcase. The crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse went absolutely wild as Peddy connected on her first 3 attempts from downtown, each successful shot ratcheting up the energy another notch. The moment that perfectly captured the night came after that third 3-pointer, when injured superstar Caitlin Clark couldn't contain her excitement, leaping off the bench to celebrate with her new teammate as Peddy jogged back on defense. Peddy finished her inaugural Fever appearance with 10 points on an efficient 3 of 4 shooting performance, proving that sometimes the best way to handle pressure is to simply ignore it exists. But here's a question worth debating. Should teams rely so heavily on brand new players in crucial games? Or does desperation sometimes create the perfect conditions for these magical moments? The injury epidemic that's testing everyone's patience. Let's be brutally honest here. The Indiana Fever's medical situation has moved beyond unfortunate and straight into cursed territory. The season-ending casualties keep piling up like a medical drama gone wrong. Sophie Cunningham's MCL injury, Sydney Colson's ACL tear, and Ari McDonald's extended absence have already gutted the roster's depth. Add Caitlin Clark's ongoing groin issue that's kept her sidelined since July 15th. And you're looking at a team that's been fighting with one hand tied behind their back for weeks. Then Friday night decided to pile on even more misery. Chloe Bibby became a last-minute scratch due to left knee soreness, something that reportedly flared up during pre-game warm-ups. Coach White described it as precautionary, with additional testing scheduled for Saturday. But when you're already running on fumes, even precautionary absences feel like major blows. That development left the Fever with just 9 available players, a number that would make any coach's stomach churn. But wait, there's more. Odyssey Sims, who's been playing on a hardship contract to help fill the massive roster holes, appeared to tweak something while attempting a shot with roughly 8 minutes remaining. The sight of her limping off the court and straight to the locker room was enough to make even neutral observers wince with sympathy. While Sims did eventually return to the bench in uniform, she never checked back into the game, leaving everyone to wonder if the Fever's injury nightmare was about to claim another victim. Here's what I find fascinating, though. Some teams crumble under this kind of adversity, while others use it as fuel to overachieve. Which category do you think the Fever fall into? And more importantly, at what point does building character through adversity become asking too much of young players? The bigger question looming over everything is whether this injury-plagued season is preparing Indiana for future success or potentially derailing the development of key players. What's your take? Are these setbacks ultimately making the Fever stronger, or is this the kind of season that haunts a franchise for years to come?